With all of the work that I do with parents, this one comes up quite a bit too. What is the role of grandparents? Parents don't stop being parents just because their kids become parents. And you've probably noticed this. I don't know if you're on the parent side of this or the grandparent side of this. Either way, I think what we have to talk about today is very relevant because this is a place where there's a lot of conflict that comes up. Can I just share with you, part of my experience has been doing child custody evaluations for the court. I did that for about 13 years in my career. It's yuck work. Seriously, this is some of the most emotionally taxing work that I've ever done. Bitter, angry, divorcing parents who can't figure out how to share their kids. But some of the most tragic ones that I ran into were where grandparents were suing their own children for visitation rights with their grandkids. How sad is that? I hope that's not your situation. If it is, I want you to know that there's some hope and there's a better way to approach this. The court is a terrible place to solve family problems. It violates all kinds of principles. We got to get back to the principles that allow us to have good relationships. So I've come up with a few don'ts and a few do's when it comes to the role of grandparents. Let's start with the don'ts. Don't force the issue or make demands. You are not in a position to do this as a grandparent. Now, I know you're emotionally invested in the relationship with your grandkids, with your own kids. Don't force the issue. I gave you a great example as we introduced this video with a set of grandparents that were suing their own children for visitation rights of their grandkids. That just ticks people off, honestly. And it creates tension in the relationship that makes it so that the visitation, even if it's granted by the court, is not pleasant. And that hurts the kids. Don't force the issue or make demands. Are we clear on that one? Here's the second don't. Don't insert yourself uninvited. If you're a grandparent and your kids are raising your grandkids, you have to be in some kind of a position of honoring their position as parents. They're not going to do it the way that you did. Think about this for a minute. We all, as we reach adulthood, have ideas about what we want to carry on and what we want to discontinue from what we experienced as a child ourselves. We're going to do it differently than our parents did, right? Do you remember thinking this when you were raising your own kids? Guess what? Your kids are thinking the same thing. And they're not wrong for thinking that. They simply have a position where they get to learn how to do this as parents. And I noticed this when my kids got to that age. Suddenly, somehow your kids become experts on parenting, right? And they're not really interested in your opinion. Well, this leads me to my last don't. Don't give unsolicited advice, especially about parenting. If it's not wanted, if it's not requested, it will be rejected anyway. It will be summarily dismissed. So you're wasting your breath to give the unsolicited advice anyway. Be ready to provide consultation. That's fine. But don't give unsolicited advice. So a quick recap of our don'ts. Don't force the issue or make demands. Don't insert yourself uninvited. And don't give unsolicited advice. Can you handle those three? This is going to make a big difference, but maybe not as much as the do's. Let's go on to that next. The first thing I would encourage you to do is remember your job. This didn't change when you became a grandparent. What was your job as a parent? If you've listened at all to this channel, you know it's to love them no matter what, and even if. That continues to be the case as a grandparent. But we start to add different layers. It's really easy. I know this from personal experience. It is really easy to love those grandkids. They are God's gift to you for not eliminating your own children. And they're just so fun. And you see the bumper stickers all the time. My grandkids are the most awesome thing on the planet. I feel that way. You feel that way. That's easy. Continue to love your children no matter what. And even if they have a completely different parenting style, even if they have an idea about diet or sleep or whatever it is that is completely different from what you did as a parent, your job continues to be the same. You love them no matter what and even if. Why? Because of the second do. Focus on the relationship with your children in order to put yourself in position to have a relationship with your grandchildren. Again, I'm coming from a perspective of very severe cases where there was conflict that went to the court level for grandparents to try to establish a relationship with their grandkids. I tell you what, even if the court grants what you're asking, if you're in that position, it doesn't help your relationship with your grandchildren because of the conflict that causes between you and your kids. The very best way for you to secure a permanent, long-lasting relationship with your grandkids is to take care of your relationship with your own children. And that leads me to the last do. Honor their position as parents. I know you're wise. I know that you've got a lot of experience and you know you're right. Actually connect with that for a minute. We know we're right. And that has us showing up in ways that are not very friendly sometimes. It puts us in position to do some of the don'ts, like inserting ourselves uninvited or giving unsolicited advice. Practice humility, which is giving up your need to be right, even though you know you are. But give up your need to be right in exchange for being open. Be open to the possibility that maybe your children who are raising your grandchildren, maybe they are brilliant enough and loving enough and good enough as people to do a good job raising your grandkids, and it'll be in a different way than you thought. Honor them, honor their position, and that also means honor their rules, okay, or lack thereof. You don't get to decide what the family rules are for your kids when they are adults and raising their own kids. But as a guest in their home or as an invited secondary caregiver for their children, honor their rules. If mom says we're not going to have any sweets before bed, don't be piling them up with sweets before bed. This seems so obvious, but you know what? I have a lot of people coming to me complaining about how their parents, the grandparents of the kids, are handling simple things like that. Honor them as parents in their own right. They know what they're doing, they love their children, and they're going to do a good job raising your grandkids. Come at it from that position, and it's going to change the energy between you and your kids. The grandparent gig, it's pretty sweet, isn't it? And you can preserve that by following these principles. Please get engaged in ways to make that relationship better. And if you need some help with that, you're not alone. Come on over and join us. Live on Purpose Central. We're holding live discussion groups just for grandparents. If you want some more ideas about this, come and join us. Go.liveonpurposecentral.com. I'll look forward to seeing you there.